God made man Lord of his creation, gave him possession and ownership of the world. And you have been so darned lazy that you have allowed the other fellow to run away with the whole world, and now he's bluffing you and telling you that the world belongs to him and that you have no part in it. I don't have to apologize to anybody for being black, because God Almighty knew exactly what he was doing when he made me black. If black people knew their glorious past, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own to make ourselves free men. Our great scholars, having passed through the colleges and universities, have thrown away the blessed record. Babylon did it. Assyria did it. France under Napoleon did it. Germany under Prince von Bismarck did it. England under America under George Washington did it. Africa with 400 million black people can do it. If you cannot do it, if you are not prepared to do it, then you will die. You race of cowards, you race of imbeciles, you race of good for nothing. If you cannot do what other men have done, what other nations have done, what other races have done, then you have better die.
Fight the power. 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 We got to fight the power.
See, Lyndon Johnson, he can always raise an argument about law and order because he never talks about justice. But black people fall for that same argument, and they go around talking about lawbreakers. We did not make the laws in this country. We are neither morally nor legally confined to those laws. Those laws that keep them up keep us down. You got to begin to understand that. For 400 years, he taught you white nationalism, and you lapped it up. You taught it to your children. You had your children thinking that everything black was bad. Black cows don't give good milk. Black hens don't lay eggs. Black for funerals, white for weddings. That's white nationalism. Santa Claus. A white honky who slides down a black chimney and comes out white. We tend to equate progress with concessions. We can no longer make that mistake. You see, when they gave us that nigger astronaut, you said we were making progress, but I told you they were going to lose him in space. He didn't get that far. You put Adam Clayton Powell in office and you couldn't keep him. What you think they're going to do with Thurgood Marshall when they get tired of him? They gave you Walter Washington of Washington, D.C., and you said we were making progress. That's not progress. See, it's no in-between. You're either free or you're a slave. There's no such thing as second-class citizenship. That's like telling me you can be a little bit pregnant.
Fight the power. 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 We got to fight the powers that be. is worse than the grave. Better to die for noble cause than to live and die a slave. Blessed are the memories of those who were there at the Harper's Ferry raid. Strong were their hearts, noble their cause, and great was the price they paid. Blessed are those who struggle. Oppression is worse than the grave. Better to die for noble cause than to live and die a slave. Blessed are the voices of those who stood up and cried out, let us be free. Like Douglas and Garvey and Sojourner Truth, Du Bois and Drew Ollie. Yeah, blessed are those who struggle. Oppression is worse than the grave. Better to die for noble cause than to live and die a slave. Blessed are the giants that we have loved and lost to the bullet's sting. Like Malcolm and Medgar and the Panthers who fell and Martin Luther King. Blessed are those who struggle. Oppression is worse than the grave. Better to die for noble cause than to live and die a slave. And blessed are the bodies of those who were hung from the limbs of a sycamore tree, who found end to their hope at the end of a rope because they dared to attempt to be free. Oh, blessed are those who struggle. Oppression is worse than the grave. Better to die for noble cause than to live and die a slave. Up through the years we've continued this fight, our liberty to attain. And though we have faced unsurmountable odds, yet